Hey everyone, so I wanted to make some personalized cards for some friends and I wanted to do some mixed media techniques on these cards. I bought a bunch of mixed media products for a personal art journal and I don't really plan to share that personal art journal, so I just wanted to show you other ways that I have been using those products. So here I'm making a card for my friend Rhonda and I'm using some Tim Holtz watercolor paper, which I cut down to 5¼ by 4, and I just marked 1 inch on the bottom, and I just use that as a guide to spell out her name in cursive. And I'm also just marking the downstrokes to do some like shading or shadowing later on. I'm taking my Copic multi-liners in 0.1 and 0.5. I'm using the thinner one to do the outline again, and then I'm going to be using the thicker one to color in the shading. Now I'm just taking the eraser from that pencil and getting rid of all the pencil marks that I made. And what's good about those Copic multi-liner pens that they don't smudge or smear or anything like that, so that's good. So don't have any masking fluid. I do want to get some, but it's a little pricey. But I saw Jennifer McGuire use some rubber cement to do basically the same thing that masking fluid does. So I have just put some down and using a thin brush and going to basically paint it on top of the name. And I'm kind of going to do like a bubble around the name. And so I'm trying to be careful and make sure that I'm kind of putting it where I want it to be. So here I'm just putting a nice layer on top of the name and making sure it's even and fully covered. I'm not just slathering it on there with no kind of, plan. I'm making sure that I cover the name and the section around the name that I want covered up. And I'm going to be putting 2 coats on top of the name just to make sure that I get everything covered well, because if not, then whatever you're putting on top of it is going to seep through. So I'm just trying to make sure that I cover it thoroughly. So this rubber cement only takes 10 to 15 minutes to dry, but I just like to give it as much time as possible, especially since I put 2 coats. So I just tend to put on the side overnight. So after the rubber cement is fully dry, I just place it in this cardboard box that I use for whenever I'm spraying things so it doesn't get all over the place. And I'm taking my dilution sprays and spraying several different colors. I sprayed some yellow, and then this one is like an orangey yellow. And then I'm going to be taking some purple because I know she loves purple. So this is an awesome way to customize it even more with colors that they might like. And here I'm using a teal color, which I really like. And just spraying it. And then I'm going to be using my handy dandy paper towel roll to pick up some of the excess that's on there. And I really love how the paper towel roll looks. And I just want to add more color, so I'm going to spray more of the color onto the card. And I really, really love these dilution sprays. I'm glad I picked them up. I'm going to have about 8 colors, but I really want to get whatever other colors they have out because I just love the look that it gives and how the colors meld together. Just so awesome. I'm just picking up more of the excess, and then I'm going to be dabbing any color that might be on that name. And then I'm going to let it dry for a couple hours, and here is how it looks when it's dried. And so I want to take up a little bit of the color, and what's awesome about dilution spray is that it reacts to water. So I'm taking my mini mister and just splashing on a little bit of water, and then I'm going to be taking my paper towel roll to pick up that water that's on there, and you can see that it gives this like water like splattered look or something, and I really like how that looks. So I want to add a little shimmer, so I'm taking my gel sticks, which is like basically gelatos, and using silver and just rubbing it onto the card to give it some shimmer. Your fingers are your best tools. So now I want to tint my modeling paste. I'm getting out my Lindy Stamp Gang Magicals to tint them, and I want contrasting colors, so I'm picking really light colors since the card is very bright. So I'm using a light green and a light pink, and with these magicals you just have to use the slightest amount to tint whatever you're tinting. Some of the other colors, when you mix it, it's just like, wow. These I'm just choosing more of the pastel colors, so you can't really see like how awesome they are, but they are awesome. I mean, you really need a little bit to tint these, but some of them, when I mix them, it's just so vibrant and so pretty. But I'm just using these really light ones to color my paste with. So I'm just mixing it up. And I initially was just going to use 2 colors, but then I ended up using 3 colors. I think the other color I use is more like probably like a coral color, I think. So I'm just mixing it. And then I'm going to be using my Tim Holtz stencils to put the modeling paste on with. So this one is a burlap design, and I just love how that looks already. So I tinted them, which I really didn't have to, because eventually after it dried, the sprays soaked up into the modeling paste, so it just took on the color of whatever was behind it, which I really like that color because it kind of gave like a tone on tone type of deal. And here I'm using this stencil that I got from Pink Fresh Studio in my very first kit, and I'm just taking a portion where those leaves are and putting that on. So this is really fun. It's just like kind of like an experiment type of thing, but I like how, you know, it has a lot of dimension and just a lot of things going on. And it's just a lot of fun to just experiment. So yeah, I'm just putting on wherever I feel like might need it. And here's what it looks like when it's fully dried. And I just wanted to add a little bit more, so I'm using my like spritz thing. Forgot the name of it, but yeah, just adding a little bit more purple. And then just dabbing wherever it got on the name, because later on when I'm rubbing off that rubber cement, I don't want it to get anywhere onto the white part of that paper. So after I've given everything time to dry, I'm now going to be taking off the rubber cement, and I'm just starting at one corner and ending at the other. Just putting a light pressure and rubbing it, and the rubber cement is coming off, and it's revealing the super white paper on the bottom of it. So the last thing I want to do is add some stitching to this card, and so I'm using this Singer handheld little sewing thing that I got at Walmart for really cheap, and because I don't have a sewing machine and I don't have room for it, so I just thought this would be fun to add a little bit of stitching to some of my projects. And this is advertised to be able to use on like paper or like material, clothing material, and I would not use it on clothes. No. But for projects like these, it's just fine. So yeah, I'm just going around really quick, and I don't mind that the lines are not straight and it's kind of all over the place. I like that imperfect look. So yeah, I think it just adds a cute little touch. So I'm just snipping that, and there it is. I'm going to be using my score tape to stick this down to my card base, just because it's a little bit warped, and I think this score tape is really strong. It's going to help, you know, flatten it out a little bit once I put it on the card base. So I'm just going to be taking off the backing of this score tape, and then sticking it down on my card base. So I just picked purple since that is her favorite color, and it also matches with the purple in the card. So yeah, there is the card. So here is the final product, and I really like how it turned out. I really love the colorfulness right here in contrast to the super white part right here, and I think it just makes the name pop out even more. And it was really fun playing with the dilution sprays and then the modeling paste with the stencils. I think it just gives it, you know, interest and dimension and texture, which is fun, and I like feeling it. So yeah, it was just really fun to make this. And when I make cards, I really like to make you know, one of a kind cards for that specific person, and sometimes it's hard to do that just because, you know, when I'm making cards, it takes a long time to plan it out. And with this, I really love the fact that it's personalized for that person, and no matter, even if I were to use the same colors on every card, the same stencils, the same, you know, everything, every card is going to turn out differently, just because when you spray the dilution sprays, they always mix differently every time, and yeah, it just gives every card an individual character. So I am definitely going to be making more of these cards, and I did make several other ones for different friends, but I haven't sent those out yet, so I'm not gonna show them right now, just so that they're surprised when they get it. But I hope that Rhonda likes this card that I made for her. And yeah, I hope you guys liked the process video. Until next time, guys. Bye.